Podcast. Hello, guys. Welcome to the I Don't Get It podcast, where today we are going to be having the hosts of The Bachelor, that is Betches Bachelor Podcast. Their names are Chris and Kay. Let's get them on and see how this conversation goes. All right. Hey, Chris. Hey, Kay. How you guys doing?
Hello. Good. How are you guys?
Good.
So good. We're so excited to have you guys on. It was honestly like such a no-brainer. You know, everyone loves your podcast. Everybody loves you guys. Chris, you're obviously so fun to follow on Instagram. It was.
Oh, thank you.
We're excited to have you. Obviously, you know, having been on The Bachelor and produced The Bachelor, we wanted to first know what was your guys' like first memory, I guess, of like the show.
You can go first.
I used to like have to watch in secret because I didn't want people to know that I was gay, and it's been on for like so long. So I would like secretly watch in my parents' basement and like close to the TV so I could change the channel if one of my brothers came downstairs.
Not to say that my situation was similar, but it was a little risque for my mom's taste when I was in high school, and my mom would be like, "Oh, I can't believe," like, so funny that she was such an encourager of me to do it. But yeah, back in the early 2000s, she thought it was such a trash show. So I would go upstairs and watch it on my little purple TV.
I remember watching on the purple TV.
Oh my God. Yeah, pretend like I was getting ready for bed or something and be like, "Oh yeah, Mom, just like something's on in the background."
I actually didn't.
Yeah,
keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say same thing. Like it was half because I was gay, half because my parents also would be like, no MTV, no any like kind of reality.
Do you remember what season it was that you started?
I really cannot remember. I like started watching religiously in college, and it was Ben's season. Ben
Flanick.
Yes.
And not the cute Ben, you mean?
The cute.
Yeah.
See, that was mine.
Ben
that
Flanick
was my
yours,
first
Kay?
season.
Yeah.
No, Ben Higgins was my first season because I didn't start watching the show until I started working at Betches, and I was like, okay, I guess I should start like, you know, figuring this kind of stuff out because we talk about it all the time, and now here I am like hosting a podcast about it. So it all sort of like escalated in. But Ben Higgins was my first season, but I watched it after the fact because JoJo's season was getting ready to start, and I was like, I should probably like, you know, learn more about her. Yeah, get to know her, like what happened like with her season. So I had some sort of like backstory, and here we are watching it, taking notes on it, memeing it every day.
I know mostly everyone that listens to our podcast probably knows what Betches is, but before we continue, Betches, I just want you guys to sort of explain what it is because it is kind of hard to explain. I was explaining it to a friend that didn't know, and I'm like, and I just remember how it blew up. I was working on The Bachelor, and they were doing reviews, and it was just written in like such a funny way. So can you just sort of, you know, briefly explain that before we get really into Bachelor?
Yeah, I mean, so what I sort of tell people is like, first of all, if you know it, you know it, and if you don't, it's very awkward when you tell people where you work, and they're like, and
it's really awkward when you're like bank paperwork.
Yeah.
What's the company name?
But we're like a digital media marketing company. We have 3 books, 2 of them New York Times bestseller. We have a full like entertainment pop culture website. So we're giving you all the news on whether it's like The Bachelor or like horoscopes or health and wellness types of things. We also have all of our many podcasts. I think we have 7 podcasts?
I think 8,
7 or 8
maybe.
podcasts, and then obviously our social media accounts. All of our podcasts have social accounts, and we also have other satellite accounts like Betches Travel and Moms and everything. So it's a whole female millennial digital media company. We speak to women the way they speak to each other.
But you also are very satirical, or at least I hope, because I've been railed by Betches a number of times.
Let's be clear. So,
have you really, Ash?
Yeah.
What have they said?
Oh, yeah.
We do not write. Neither Kay or I write the the reviews website or the. What is it that they do? The breakdown, kind of?
Yeah.
Not the breakdown, but
it's just the recaps.
So that's a freelancer.
I have no business writing any more than
take that up with the freelancer.
That's a freelancer. Wait, Ashley, what have they said?
I don't remember. I mean, it was years ago, but like I remember being like actually pretty pissed because I thought it went beyond like funny and satirical and like into like pretty much shame.
That's like Girl
Hate.
with No Job. It kind of said the same things about you. Yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, we like to keep it very much. I mean, Chris and I didn't take over the Bachelor stuff until, I mean, Chris just came on recently because I used to host with Derek. And then, but I didn't start taking on the Bachelor stuff until like a year and a half ago. And we very much just want to like, it's jokes and keep it in a way that's like, we're just taking what we see and talk about what everyone else is seeing, especially I mean, Chris and I, we just like to, because The Bachelor is all not like rainbows and butterflies and happy endings. It's very much, you know, it's funny and there are great moments that happen on it. And we just want to like talk about them in a way that other people are sort of thinking about it.
I stand you during your time Bachelor, and I used to tweet about how good
he
your
did.
makeup was.
This is not a lie.
Thank you so much. As I
would be like, Ashley, I favorite because she always has a good bold lip on and she's coming to impress.
Well, thank you so much.
Ashley loved her pink lipstick then. Pink, red, everything.
I did. But they look so good on camera. Like I wouldn't wear them daily.
They do.
Yeah. Like in my regular
sharp
life.
contrast to her amazing eyebrows. Just a
Thank
good
you.
bold red ruby woo.
Yeah, I was very Michelle Money inspired when it came to makeup because she was always making like a hair and makeup statement. Like everything, every time you saw her on TV, she looked different, and I liked that. But I also just want to go back to what you were saying about, you know, you guys just kind of riff on it, and I do feel like Betches and Girl with No Job, they speak about the show in a way that I find it is fun because you guys you don't have any personal ties to it besides when Derek used to be here. So you're able to talk about it without having like any experience with the people behind the scenes, but also like not knowing what is often so eliminated. You see it as fans, and I think it's fun to talk as a fan, but you're going to get a totally different perspective on those podcasts and with those write-ups than you would from somebody who's lived through it and can see what is probably lying underneath the surface.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we love having like people like you guys who've been on the show before or have worked on the show before on our podcast, so they can get like the behind the scenes you know, aspect of it. And it's not just like, okay, this is what we see surface level, but this is how it actually works. Here's how it actually goes down. This is what actually happened.
Yeah.
Or this is what you missed or didn't see. I think that's really important. And it's a fun balance to have.
Guys, can we stop for a second so I can talk to you about my brush?
Your brush? What's
my
a brush?
My brush is my brand new toothbrush that is honestly the most state-of-the-art. I call it my museum toothbrush because I feel like this toothbrush should be in a museum. Because you guys know I'm sort of new to the, not robotic, what are they called?
Electric toothbrush?
Electric toothbrush.
Wait, you're new to them? Wow. Okay.
I'm not recently, not this year, but you know, like in the past couple of years, I never used them growing up is what I'm saying. So in the past couple of years, I've been introduced to this electric toothbrush life. It is so it's so nice, but this brush thing is so state of the art. It has so many different categories that I love, like picking a different one every morning. One's like gentle, one's for whitening. They even have a feature for your tongue that I do on my tongue. And it just feels like I'm using like the upper echelon of toothbrushes.
Your teeth feel so clean, and they feel so clean all day. It's not like, you know, how some midway through the day you're like, did I even brush my teeth this morning? Like, you feel clean all day long. The packaging is really pretty. It really does feel like you're unboxing a gift. It's not like this plastic that you have to like cut through clumsily. There's a whole bunch of different colors. It looks nice and state of the art in your bathroom. And like Naz said, something that is different about this brush than I feel like any others is those different settings. You mix and match throughout the day. Like you do a gentle at night, and then you do the whitening in the morning after you drink your coffee. I really like that. And it doesn't make your it doesn't make teeth brushing feel like a chore, which teeth brushing feel like a chore, which it so often has before this brush for me.
Yeah, Brush delivers premier sonic wave technology without the big markups. Like it does the same job that a $200 toothbrush would do.
Yeah,
and
we talk about the movement, the amount of movements there are. 31,000.
There's 31,000 movements in 1 minute. So like really screw all of your other toothbrushes and get this one. Basically, is the moral of the story.
And manual toothbrushes do 300 movements at max in a minute, and then you are getting 31,000. It's so crazy. So we want our listeners to experience the kind of clean that we get with Brush. You can get 15% off when you use our promo code GETIT at Brush.com. You can try it for 90 days risk-free and get a 2-year warranty as well. That is Brush.com. The BRUUSH.com, promo code GETIT.
So from a fan's perspective, like who is your favorite Bachelor and Bachelorette? Kay, why don't you go
of
first?
all time?
From what you've seen.
Ooh, like the actual lead?
Yeah, the lead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really loved JoJo's season. Like
I knew that was going to come out of your mouth. I knew
But
it.
I wonder if it's because, I mean, I love JoJo so much, but I wonder if that's because it's your first season, so everything is so fresh and exciting. Because when I think about like some of my favorite Bachelors, I think like Brad Womack, and that was that was Lauren in my first season.
Mm.
No, you're right. That's
also,
true.
you were a different person when you first watched, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the memories you had back then, you might not.
I think you're onto something, Ashley, because my favorite was Juan Pablo's, and I did watch Jake Pavelka's. Like, I was in and out in college watching it, but the first, like, every week sitting on the couch was Juan Pablo's, and so that is my favorite too.
Okay, so that's a really good takeaway from that, because I was like, I love JoJo's because first I loved her as a person. I think she was so fun and like had such a great energy, but also the guys that came out of it, it's probably because it was my first one, but like so iconic. Like I know every guy that was on that season, and I feel like they're like ingrained in my brain
that's
forever.
So funny, because I would say the weak point of JoJo's season to me is her cast of men, because I think that there's only a couple that stand out to me.
Well, you have Chad Johnson, Short Alex.
Yeah.
That's who I think of immediately.
Yeah, but they didn't like... Chad, yes, will
Alex.
notoriously live down in history as like probably one of the greatest villains. But Alex, nobody thinks about Alex. I think from that season you have Jordan, of
Robbie
course.
Hayes,
Robbie,
James
nobody
Taylor.
really thinks about anymore.
Luke, your favorite.
I love Luke, and I will always consider Luke to be one of the most underrated contestants of all time.
Luke, I also liked Luke until Winter Games. When he slighted that girl.
Yes.
Also, on the topic of Winter Games.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about this.
Not mentioned it at all. Why are we pretending like Claire was never on Winter
Oh,
Games?
okay, so Claire...
It wouldn't be good to be engaged.
I can't get over it.
My speculation...
People forget she was engaged to Benoit. It's really crazy.
So
Benoit's sitting at home like, how are you just not going to mention me?
Okay, so Benoit was actually just on my other Bachelor podcast, Almost Famous, on Friday. So he talks about Claire for legitimately 45 minutes.
Tell us everything, although we could just listen to that.
Yeah, but a brief synopsis is that he thinks that the narrative sounded better, that she was always like the single girl leaving the show without anyone, and then led into this. And I agree that it's a better narrative.
Yeah, of course.
In my head, Benoit and Claire's engagement was like, you're at the Cosmopolitan in Vegas.
I'm actually at
you're
the
on a
Palazzo in
bachelorette
Vegas
party.
right now.
Oh,
You're on a bachelorette party you don't want to be a part of, and like maybe it's a joint one, and one of the groomsmen's like he's just the best one to look at in the room, and then you go to the little Whitechapel. Like that to me was their engagement
very
in my
much
head.
that episode of Friends when like Ross and Rachel accidentally get married.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was an accident.
She was like, I'll give the nice guy a try for one time. And then she got grossed out by her nice guy decision.
Benoit is super sweet, and he's so supportive of Claire. So you should listen to the podcast.
Okay.
And I mean, like they're on great terms. They really are.
Well, isn't he Canadian?
Yeah, and he filmed.
Well, there you go.
He did film a little cameo appearance for her season that didn't make the cut, which further goes into his narrative of like they just didn't want me to be involved because it was better.
I would be like popping off.
He popped off a little bit in his own
I
right.
just think like as Bachelor fans, especially, I mean, you guys know Bachelor fans are like the most insane diehard fans like there are. Leaving that out, it's like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. I think it's like we all saw that. We all participated. We remember, like, why aren't we all talking about it?
He almost belittles us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is there to say? Because I agree with you,
no.
right? From a production standpoint, it's like, okay, we should acknowledge this, but like, what is there to even say?
Nothing. It didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Like, it's not like on Winter Games you get a full-fleshed, like, you get to watch an entire storyline. There were so many different moving parts and people and characters that I felt like you honestly couldn't have gotten that invested.
And it only happened once. Like, it wasn't multiple seasons of Winter Games.
Yeah.
Right. And also, like, people never mention Kim Kardashian's first husband, you know? We also tend to forget about Chris Humphries all the time, too.
Who was
her first husband? That's a
I don't even remember.
Yeah. That's great. I don't even know his name.
I don't know. Imagine being Kim Kardashian's first husband and nobody knows who you are.
Oh my God. Exactly. And also, Chris, we know you love Sex and the City, and we talk about Sex and the City on our podcast all the time, but it's almost like Benoit's just Burger. Like, we only really reference Aiden.
I love Burger, famously.
You love Burger?
Way. You can't love Burger. Burger's the worst.
No, I just like feel for Burger.
You do?
Ew,
I
he's
don't like
so
stand.
emotionally
Well,
immature.
let me be clear. I think that every man that Carrie has been with is like, I don't stand any of them. And especially the end, I think is so stupid. Like, why they would ever end it with her going home with the Russian guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That just is not how that would play out.
But you mean like you don't think she'd ever go to Paris with him?
I think it was a weird way to end the show. They had like no chemistry.
Ugh,
yeah, but
so
that's
mean.
why I don't know. But
I think it made sense. I think you're at that age.
Sense.
You want someone mature. I think she was attracted to his intellect, his differentness. I think she got an opportunity to go to Paris. It's like she loves New York. She wants something new. Miranda has a kid, you know, so she got. I think it made sense in my head.
It made sense to me too, and it was a perfect dichotomy. Like the cold, rigid artist. It makes Big seem even warmer and like
they needed to make him look even more appealing by putting him next to an Ice King.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't.
What was I gonna say?
Well, I have got great questions coming your way. If I can interject.
About Bachelor or Sex and
about
City?
Bachelor.
Can I ask it quickly? Who do you think the hottest male was in the entire franchise?
That was my question.
All the guys
on Bachelor?
Oh, wait, on Bachelor or Sex and the City?
On Bachelor.
I was going to say all the guys Samantha Jones fucked.
No, I was going to say.
That's also a question you can answer if you can go through all of them.
Oh, Peter from Rachel's season.
Peter, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very respectable answer.
That's definitely number one.
Definitely very
good.
good.
Like I can't even argue that. That might be.
I like dream about that like little tooth gap. Remember?
Yeah.
I think we will see him as the Bachelor one day. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think before we all go to our graves, he will be the Bachelor for sure.
I think
does he have an Instagram? Do we know what he's doing?
Yeah, he does. Like,
he has a gym in the Midwest.
Yeah, he's like a fitness trainer, of course.
Peter Krause, guys. Bachelor.
What about
20...
Brooks Forrester? Looking really good.
Honestly, Brooks doesn't compare to Peter.
Wait, I do know him, but why can't
Desiree. He broke up with Desiree when her heart was pounding.
I'm looking him.
I'm literally looking him up right now.
I actually met a girl in Venice that told me she hooked up.
Oh, he was hot. He's hot. But his hair was way too long on the show. Like that.
No.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I'm not asking about their character.
No, he has this character.
This photo. Oh, damn.
I actually think he might be hotter with shorter hair, Lauren. Totally different vibes. Who else do you think was so hot?
Wait, we didn't get Kay's.
She said she kind of agrees with Peter.
I agree with Peter. I also I think Ben Higgins is so dreamy.
Yeah.
I just think he's so
well, he's just like, but that's also because he's so sweet, I think.
Yeah,
we're not thinking just physically.
It's like consistency, like you're guaranteed to get a text the next day. So it's like the hottest thing ever, you know?
Oh my God. Ben Higgins would never ghost you. He would never play with your heart. No.
It's the stability that is so hot. Who would you guys want and done with? Like, who would you want to hook up with? Bachelor franchise?
A lot of them.
Please just name them.
Did we just like miss Tyler Cameron? Because I think
Tyler Cameron would be my number one.
He's the one and done. Like, you do not want a relationship with him. One and done.
Yeah, even Pilot Pete, I'd one and done.
Huh?
Really? His indecision irks me. He's like a squirrel.
If I'm like at a bar, he's at a bar, he like tries to kiss me, am I going to push him away? Absolutely not.
No. Well, no.
Oh, I also think Blake is really cute. I think I would hook up with him mainly because all of like the hype after Stagecoach. I'm like, I mean,
you love frat stars. You got a frat star.
I know.
Yeah, you like those
Jesus.
boat shoes, Kay. You like the boat shoes. To me,
gross.
Blake is reminiscent of Hey Arnold. To me, I don't know why. I just think of Hey Arnold when I think of Blake. And that's not a bad thing. I just think of Hey Arnold.
Oh, also Eric is so hot, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Which
You
Eric?
think Eric Bigger?
Eric Bigger.
Yes.
Eric Bigger's hot.
And Mike Johnson is so hot. But Mike Johnson, I wouldn't be able to one and done.
No, I would
That's a relationship.
marry forever Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
because
is a very good analysis.
when I
And Eric, I feel like he would only one and done with me. Like, I would be like, I know that we're not going to talk again because you're not going to text me, but I would still do it.
I think Eric might text you.
Eric would text you, but like
Eric might
to
text,
like would like
but to save his reputation.
yeah to, to collaborate on something only.
So when
No, I'm
I talk
kidding.
about the
I
hottest
think
guys
Eric's sweet.
outside of my husband, do you guys like, oh my God, there's this
Yeah,
guy,
I
his
wanna
name is
know.
Jared. Do you guys think that Jared's so hot?
Yeah,
we can't talk about that with you.
You totally can. I love hearing
Oh,
about how
I think
hot he
Jared's
is.
very hot.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jared's obviously hot.
Okay, thank
I
you.
didn't want to go there because I was like, I don't want to like.
No, I
talk
love
about
it.
Yeah,
No, I love it.
Jared's hot.
But when
Yeah,
Jared and I
Jared's
play this game, and it's like a game
Are
that
they supposed to
totally
be
is
like,
done
no?
off. No, I know. It's a game that we'd have to put off air, but like Jared and I'd be like, this person or this person, this person or this person, this person or this person.
Oh yeah.
This is our game.
I know.
It's not your and Jared's game.
Sorry, it's not. You're right. It's the three of us. We play together. I'm sorry. But for me, at the top of my list, besides when Jared's not in the running, it's usually Luke Pell, Mike Johnson, and Peter, and then maybe and then Wells.
Peter
probably.
K or Pilot Pete?
Okay.
Peter K.
Okay, yeah. I had to check.
Oh, Wells too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wells Adam? Oh yeah. What?
Yeah.
There's so many. Like,
Oh,
literally.
yeah, there's Wills too.
What about
if you
the
gave me
women?
a list,
What about the women?
Yeah. So who would you
I'm
want to trade
taking-
faces with? That's what we
Or
were.
to objectify.
Christina Schulman, hands down.
Oh,
Okay.
gorgeous.
She's like
Stunning.
unstoppable.
Stunning.
Gorgeous.
she's really sweet too. Also, Rachel has good style. I really like.
Katie Morton, is that her
Yeah.
last name?
I mean, Katie Morton's be so
I mean,
stunning.
like-
Green eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Unbelievable.
think I'd want to be with Caitlin Bristow or JoJo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think JoJo too. Also, I like JoJo's family. Like, that's somebody I could settle down with.
Yeah, like I would trade. I'd trade face and
It's the
body
whole
with JoJo.
package.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
trade life
But you
with
know what
JoJo.
else?
Caitlin Bristow, I like Caitlin Bristow, but like her style isn't my style, so I don't. It would depend.
What's your style? What's like your? What do you look
Like,
for?
I like a more makeup in general, like
Okay.
JoJo contours and all of that.
Understood.
Caitlin's a little more natural.
Chris
I
wants
don't
his
know.
girls
if you-
in drag.
You'd be surprised at how
Yeah.
most of JoJo's makeup is built into her face.
Oh.
God bless.
Yeah, God
Honestly,
bless.
I would love that.
That's what we call cosmeceuticals.
What's that?
But you know
Wow.
who Jared always picks, who's like really underrated beauty wise, is Olivia Caridi.
Oh,
Yes,
her
I've actually
smile.
seen her in real life too, and
She
she's very
is the
pretty.
modern day Cameron Diaz, and
Yeah.
people don't talk about it
She
enough,
is.
to be honest.
She looks just like her.
Yeah,
really
like
does.
insanely
She
like her.
does.
But I gotta
right.
say, Jared, his jawline is unmatched.
Well, yes, that's true.
The jawline is unmatched.
No, it's like
Unbelievable.
it's like a cartoon. If you're at a bar and there's one person to your right and one person to your left, and it's their whole appeal, like they're hitting on you, and it's their personality, their swag, and their appearance. That's
Like
why
everything about them,
yeah.
it's like who
That's
would you
Luke-
rather
that's Luke
hang
Pell.
out with? Not
that's
just,
why
like,
Luke
appearance.
Pell almost
Luke
always
Pell's
wins
it.
with me.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yes.
That conversation is not going to be as interesting
it's-
as
I
a
don't care. He's gonna
conversation.
talk
He's
really
gonna talk
slowly.
slow, and it's that slow
accent.
talking,
Yeah,
and
the
then
accent.
yeah.
He's like the lead in the like a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah, there you go.
That is so
Nailed it,
well
Chris.
put.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a military one.
Yeah, he came home from war.
Home for Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
let's
new,
sign
that's a
him
new
up for a
movie out on
movie.
Lifetime.
That's it.
All right. It's 1 a.m. You're in bed. Covers pulled up over your head to trap your phone's light so your partner can snooze away. And what are you doing? You're obviously playing Best Fiends. Best Fiends is the best game I've ever downloaded on my phone. It's addicting in the best way. It gets you off social media and gets your brain going. My favorite thing about the game is probably just looking at how the further you get, the cuter your characters are. So that's a huge incentive to level up.
I like the way that there's always being something added. So there's always going to be like a new level. There's always going to be new characters. Like in October, they added like a whole Halloween theme, which is really awesome. And people...
I'm on level 54 right now.
Well,
Damn, Lauren, you're like way further than me. Lauren and I always we have like this competition where I'm like, what level are you on?
Yeah, I'm
like,
sorry. I think
I'm
I have
like
more
on
spare
level
time.
30, but I use it more. The reason why I use Best Fiends is to de-stress. So I don't know, when I'm on my computer all day, we all have that addictive tendency to pick up our phone. I don't want to scroll through social media. I love to just de-stress. Like it really just, I don't know. It's so weird. It's just that phenomenon where you're just concentrated on one thing or solving a problem.
Yeah,
or
it's just
a challenging
like knitting
puzzle.
or something.
Right.
You're keeping your hands going and then your mind's going, but in a more relaxed state.
Yeah, and you
if
guys
you're,
aren't alone. Talk about how many people. How many other people?
Over 100 million downloads.
100 million downloads. You guys, that's like 1/3 of the U.S. population has it on their phone.
It's insane.
And it's rated 5 stars. So everyone, 100 million person that downloaded it basically rated it 5 stars. So why not just download Best Fiends and give it a chance?
Yeah, so download Best Fiends for free today on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's best. It's like Best Friends, but without the R. So it's Best Fiends. What couple broke up that you were devastated by?
Oh, I'm
trying to
I don't
think
know.
if
I guess not.
I'm like-
I guess no one.
No, I know.
Celebrity
guys.
breakups in general don't really do much for me.
Okay.
Like, I do get. I'm trying to think. I can't even think of any.
Who?
I actually, to be honest with you guys, I thought Nick and Vanessa were gonna
I did not
go a lot longer.
My
but
eyes
I
are
didn't
currently
know.
bugging
I
out of my
forgot
head,
Vanessa
yes.
existed until
I was going
right
to say that
now.
as a joke just now.
I didn't know, but I'm saying this before I
Oh.
knew her. I
Yeah.
knew Nick. I didn't know her, knowing their personalities now. But I think just like who they were on the show, how they look, like I really thought they were like a sort of like cake topper for me.
Kendall and Grocery Store Joe. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
That was a sad because I felt like they were so like quirky and cute together. I was not expecting that one. I'm gonna be honest.
Also, Hannah Brown's ending, I felt was really sad.
That was heartbreaking
Yeah.
because Jed was trash.
I wasn't expecting
God.
it to be like that.
I wasn't
Yeah.
So
either.
I think I was like kind of sad for her.
So if you had to
So
see a lead become the lead again, a la Brad Womack, would you want it to be Hannah?
No,
I would watch it, but I don't know that I would.
Stan it?
I want like more of a combative. Like even how Claire is right now, I'm like, it's amazing television.
That's what I
Amazing
think.
television.
Why are
Yeah.
okay? So you guys, so I know that there might be a little bit of some. We might feel delayed on this topic, but I think we should discuss Claire as a lead, just because that's kind of an evergreen. Claire will always be a lead in Bachelor history.
Duh.
I think it's weird that people are giving her so much flack because she's truly acting the way any of us would act if we like just saw somebody and we were like, that's the person. That's what I want to be with. I'm not going to fake it.
I also want to go on a little rant about Claire just because we actually don't talk about Bachelor. So it's kind of fun to have you guys on so we
Yay.
can talk about it. Because Ashley, is like another podcast dedicated to, and the three of us talk about it like on our own. But I do want to say, like, for example, watching the first couple episodes of Claire's season thus far, when she got mad that the guys like didn't remember when it was like all weird on the group date when no one asked her.
I was like,
I love Claire because yes, Claire is older.
Yeah.
Claire is sick of the bullshit. Yes, there are so many guys that don't go up to the girl, don't know what to do. Like, I understand it could have been an easy miscommunication. A lot of people are saying she was too harsh. A lot of people are saying, you know, she's being too rash. But I think Ashley's absolutely correct. I think that we are looking at someone who has been through it, who has dated people their entire life, who is now given their opportunity, who now feels this feeling towards one person, who is just sort of like sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of, though, from like the perspective of production and like the show in general, like if I was like a showrunner on it, I would be like, what are you doing? This is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
And all of these guys have been in quarantine for 2 weeks to do this. And I just thought there was a lot. And obviously we don't know like what's going on behind the scenes.
Sure.
But I felt like even when she was like, can we hurry this night up and stuff like that? I'm like, this is like not fair to these men whose family, like they look stupid.
I bet that a lot of other bachelorettes or bachelors have said the same thing, but we haven't seen them say it. And they're trying to create this villain aspect because it didn't go all season.
I agree with Chris,
that.
I will say I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like, I think if it was me,
sure.
I'm tired. I'm not as old as Claire, and I'm sick of dating in LA. And I definitely would have stuck it out, even if I had it. But I think we're just seeing someone who's really, just really over it. And I don't know if I can really shame someone for feeling that way.
No, and I also think that part of our like fatigue with Claire, quote unquote, is the fact that we all know what's happening. We all know that she picks some guy. We all know that she leaves with him. We all know that we're getting a new bachelorette. I think
nothing's ever been more spoiled.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think if we didn't know and this was happening in real time and we had no idea about all of that, we would have had a totally different perspective and we'd be like, holy shit, this is wild. But now we're like, okay, we know she's leaving. Can we just like wrap it up and bring the next person on? You know what I mean?
Because
I think
someone could just swoop in. Someone could have just swooped in and like stole her heart. Who would have known, you know, if we didn't?
Yeah, I think that would have been more exciting to watch. But I think the fact that we all know what's happening, we all know, we're just counting down the minutes at this point because we know.
And that's why I hate social media, and I just hate how everything is spoiled these days. You have to watch everything in real time, and we find stuff out before, and I do think it really takes the fun out of everything. Imagine watching this season having no idea.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Also because they show so much in the like previews that it's like, I feel like I've seen it so many times before it's even happened.
This is a very interesting conversation because at first I was actually happy that they were leaning into it and being like, okay, we know the audience knows, but you're right. But for some reason we didn't know, it would be wildly entertaining.
Wild. We'd be losing our minds. And I do want to applaud ABC for their marketing because like I love like a marketing moment. But the fact that ABC had not, like everybody was talking about except for the Bachelor franchise. Like they weren't talking about Tayshia coming on. They weren't talking about Claire leaving. It was just all of us. And so when we did get the Tayshia like when they dropped her coming out of the pool, like with no warning and nothing, I think that moment was so big. And I don't think it would have been as big if ABC/The Bachelor would have talked about it beforehand.
True.
Yeah, but imagine if there weren't the rumors, and then that would be like,
God, that's literally
in parallel.
Insanity.
That's what's so annoying. Can I bring up something else that I've been thinking about that just to dive a little deeper in this conversation since we all have watched the show and are a part of the show?
Yeah. This
is like also the problem I have, Ashley, with people getting mad at Claire, like how you're annoyed with it too, is I've been playing, you know, as 2020 goes on, we all get a little more woke. I've been playing role reversal in my head a lot. And I'm like, if a man would have left early, we got a little bit of that with Colton. When a man leaves the season early,
romantic.
It's romantic. It's, oh my God, he's coming up on a white horse. This is all we've ever wanted to see a man do. He knows what he wants. It's sexy.
So
but
interesting.
Role reverse, Claire does it. It's like, take a second and think about that. How unfair is that? She's desperate. She's tired. She's, you know, she's not giving it the full shot.
Bitchy, all that kind of
what
stuff.
the fuck? That is so unfair.
It is to me.
Yeah.
Really unfair. And
that is so true.
I know. And like,
it also would be edited differently. Like they would have edited it to be more like, they wouldn't show him being like, can we end the date early? You know?
Yeah.
I also think that them like doing that with the guys, like, well, she'll like compliment, she'll be like, oh my God, Dale, he took the time to like ask me how I was doing. And I also like wish that wasn't glorified so much. It's like, that is base level of what a guy should be doing for you, is asking you how you are. So I feel like we need to like raise the bar a little bit.
He also didn't say much after a guy literally ripped her a new one.
I thought he handled it very well.
He was like, are you okay? And she's like, oh my God. And there were 4 other guys. I'm not trying to rip on Claire again, but there were 4 other guys who came up to her and said,
no, there was a difference there for me. Those guys were all like, push out their chest, like, oh, I'm heated. Somebody hold me back.
Yeah, that's what
and then he was
like, they're always like fighting about who's the most angry.
Yeah.
They were going to go after, what's his name? What was his name?
Yosef.
Oh, Yosef.
And then,
they were going to go fight Yosef rather than consult.
Yeah, and then he was just like really calm about it. He was like, hey, like, how are you doing? And then like, he just didn't make a scene out of it. That's what I appreciated. I also feel like
she really held it in that conversation with Yosef. I was like, woo!
I would have lost.
I was waiting for that time bomb to tick. It's like, oh no.
And it never really blew up. Really?
No.
I wanted like
she put him in his
I would
place.
have lost my mind.
Okay, so then just let's touch on Dale for a second. At first, I was very skeptical of him, and perhaps my skepticism has been like buried deep into my soul, or perhaps I'm realizing that we're all a little jaded. Why do we automatically think that there must be something wrong with this guy if he, 1, is showing so much interest in her, 2, is so good looking, seems to have manners and is a gentleman, and he just seems like a kind guy. And why do we have a red flag about a good-looking, kind guy?
And the worst thing the other guys say about him is that he's a front runner.
Oh,
it's the modeling pics and the fact
he's a taco.
He's an NFL player.
It's the modeling pics coming up. Like, don't tell me that there's no part of you that wanted to get on that TV show.
I know.
For your career when you have modeling pics in a Del Taco costume.
Yeah, and he says his goals are to be like the most important, like, or his goals are to have like a diverse portfolio of projects and to be like the next Ryan Seacrest. That is the red flag to me, but I also can't, it's so hypocritical of me to say that is a bad goal for someone, because that would have been like my goal, because I always said that I wanted to be Maria Menounos. And then I went on the show and I was like, yeah, if this opens doors for me, that would be amazing. However, if it brings me a husband, that'll be even more amazing. I got a pretty awesome career out of it. Plus I got a husband. And so why can't you go on for 2 reasons and then both be completely authentic?
I'm not judging him by it at all. I'm just saying. And I would do the same thing for, like, if you had said that at the beginning of your season, I would be like, she's probably not there completely for the right reason.
Nor should anyone be.
Obviously. Exactly. I don't hate the player at all. Hate the game. Like, I'm like, I would do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think this conversation is very nuanced. I don't think there's like a right or wrong answer. I think back when Ashley was on the show, social media wasn't as prominent. Yeah. People weren't really making money off Instagram. It wasn't as marketable as it is now. It didn't literally replace TV commercials until now. So now when somebody goes on the show, in the past, like, I would say 4 seasons we've seen, now it's like, okay, is this person really trying to capitalize? Can I really hate on them for it? Because it's kind of genius. I don't know, but I will tell you, having worked on the show right before Instagram blew up, I do feel like a lot of the people that came on genuinely did just want to find someone, because it is harder to find someone. And I say this all the time. I think going on The Bachelor is actually one of the greatest ways to meet someone, because these days you see someone on Instagram, you know, you can Google how much money they make, what their net worth is. You can look at their ex, you can look at their pets, you can even look at their mom. You get this entire dossier on who a person is, and you judge them before you even meet them on a date. On The Bachelor, these people are handpicked for you. They walk out of a car. You don't know their name. You don't know if they have kids. You don't know any of their baggage. And so everybody sort of gets this like fair playing field shot, and they're all from around the country, which is like, when can you date people from all around the country in one place? And you're sort of getting rid of these distractions, like you know, I don't want to call work a distraction, but, you know, like everybody, all your friends in your ear, like, I don't know about this guy or this girl, or, you know, you're literally dedicating time to getting to know someone. So a part of me is like, this is the best way to meet someone. I think people should really stop and think about that. And then another part of me is like, I'm dating. I'm 30. I'm single. I work in television. I host this podcast with Ashley. I have not had the best luck thus far. You know, I'm still dating. If I were to go on, everyone would be like, Naz just wants Naz just wants followers. She just wants to be the next Ryan Seacrest. When I can genuinely tell you guys, I don't need to do it. I've just dated so much. To me, it would actually be a great way to take a break from life and get to know someone. But unfortunately, given the circumstances, people would just be like, this person's just trying to capitalize.
Yeah, I remember how scared I was to tell Chris Soules that I had just graduated with my master's in broadcasting. I was like, if I say broadcasting, he's going to be so turned off.
You don't want to live on a farm at all.
Yeah.
You got orange.
But you didn't want to live on a farm, Ashley.
Well, in that moment, I did.
I'd live on that farm.
But see, it all worked out for you through the show. Just
Is Victoria living on that farm?
No, they broke up. No.
Oh, man.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Matt James being the next lead, being that you've really never met him before? Like, you've never met him through the TV before.
I feel like because Kay, like, knows him in real life, and I've, like, seen him through Instagram, it's not as random as maybe other people. I don't know. I think he's really hot. Is he there for the right reasons? I don't really know. Because wasn't there like drama about him not being there for the right reasons on this current season?
Yeah, because I think he started like a cameo account or something.
Wait, is there?
He had a cameo before going on the show because he obviously has such a following from being friends with Tyler. Ironically, Claire went
People
off.
would pay for Matt James to say happy birthday to him?
Apparently they were. But it was so funny is that Claire freaked out about, well, she didn't freak out. That's an exaggeration. But she
said a pretty directed tweet.
Yes, that she didn't like the fact that there were guys coming on the show for her season that had a cameo. And the irony of all this is that apparently Dale had a cameo as well.
Yeah, I mean,
she was directing that tweet towards Matt.
Well, I forgot to mention to you guys, because in my little rant that I went on, I forgot to end it with what I was supposed to end it with. I know Dale. I don't know him like super well, but I've been in his like vicinity like years ago. We had like mutual friends, and he honestly seems like the greatest like person. But I don't know. It's like, it's so hard to tell because of all the circumstances that I was explaining, because of Instagram and the cameo and all that stuff. But it's like, does that mean that somebody doesn't genuinely want to find love and someone doesn't genuinely like someone else?
Yeah, no.
No, I think that's different.
I don't think it's one or the other.
Well, yeah. Kay, you got to tell us about what you know about Matt.
Oh,
Matt is like,
so what are your thoughts?
Matt is like, first of all, the nicest guy on the planet. So I actually met him through Tyler. I was out with Tyler in New York one night, and Matt came and met up with us, and we just like talked about, because they have like that nonprofit, the ABC food tour. So I went and did that with Matt one day. It was so fun. Like, I got to hang out with all these kids and help out with that. I mean, he's genuinely like the nicest guy. And then
it sounds like you went on a one-on-one with Matt.
I know. And then I don't know. I've hung out with him a few times. I actually was with he's my ex-boyfriend at the time, or now. And I was in Raleigh for Thanksgiving, and Matt is from Raleigh. And Matt was like, hey, oh my gosh, I see that you're in Raleigh. Like, we should all meet up. So I went, me and my boyfriend at the time, and Matt and his mom all went to like a drive shack, like a Top Golf kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like cute. Hung out like with his mom. He's truly the nicest guy. His mom's an angel. I don't know if I see him like dating. I've never seen him like interested in anybody. I know a few people actually know him, I mean, better than I do. And they're like, yeah, I've never really known Matt to have a girlfriend or any of that kind of thing, which I think is interesting, especially like if you're going to go into it straight on, like being the lead, and you're going to start your real dating like on television. I think that's going to be
that is
a shock,
interesting.
but maybe
he sounds like a stand-up husband material guy though, and maybe he was just career oriented first, and maybe he was presented with this opportunity and he's like, well, maybe let me give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 6'4", gorgeous. I mean, he is beyond hot.
He's beautiful for sure. He's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see Matt as Bachelor.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really nice. And I think once people have gotten through the Bachelorette sort of shot in COVID, everyone will be sort of more used to this world of like everything being shot in one place. And I'm hoping that they can like sort of explore it.
They've done a really good job about it.
I haven't even noticed. The drama's been so good. I haven't even noticed that we're in the same place.
Right. Yeah. And I was just going to say, thank God for the show to come out, because a lot of new things aren't coming out. And it really is insane from a production standpoint because so many people work on this show, like hundreds. So it really is crazy how they were able to pull it off, I think.
I think also with Matt, it'll be fun to like have no preconceived notions from either side.
Like my mom and her friends literally don't follow Tyler Cameron on Instagram. They have no idea who this random guy is, and it's kind of nice to have that like fresh little like cut rather than like from the past season.
Yeah, it'll be also fun to see him kind of learning alongside with the girls. So it's not like anybody has the upper hand when it comes to experience. Okay, so Naz and I always complain about night one, and we're like, it's too formulaic. I can't believe that it's just come out of the limo. And there's never really been a gigantic twist on night one, except for when there was 2 bachelorettes. That's just an example of one thing that I would like the show to work on, just to like be a little bit more creative with night one, because now it feels like night one is something that we have to get like over with in order to get the season revved up. What kind of changes would you like the show to make?
Night one could be fun if they split it into 2 and like people went home both times, so then you can actually, because like in this season I'm like, there's so many guys, I literally don't know who people are.
When Ben Higgins got like so many roses to give out. Was that Ben or someone else had like 10 roses to give out?
Oh yeah, during the cocktail party. I think that was Ben. Yeah,
they should have done that. Just
something different, because like I also, one of the things like Chris and I, when we watch the first nights of these shows, is like I don't even pay attention to any of these guys' names until like the 3rd episode. Then I start really getting to know them, because you don't want to invest yourself into Brad M when he's going home in 45 minutes. So it's like I think getting to know the people a little bit more, like Chris said, splitting it up into 2 nights, maybe having more backstories on these guys instead of it just being like she's giving a rose to Tyler F, and I have not seen him at all on this episode. It's like, who is he? Why did she give him that rose? Like, what was the thought process? Like giving us a little more detail into like why she's choosing these guys, and not just from the random edits that we get from production.
I was just gonna say, bringing in like the friends or family of the Bachelor or Bachelorette sooner. Like I want to see like a dinner with everyone when there's still like messy people there. Yeah. Like everything's gonna end, like everyone's so invested in stuff. I want to see like
well, we kind of saw that on Peter's season.
Yeah, Maddie.
We kind of saw that on Peter's season, which was really cool because he lived not too far from the mansion, which I thought was interesting. But
and look how much drama that brought.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like exactly. What I would love to see in my first season working on the show was Caitlin's, and just seeing, having Caitlin and Britt out there on the driveway was so entertaining and so interesting. Even as somebody behind the scenes, it would be absolutely fantastic to have 2 men out there and just like literally learn the women's psyche on like who wants to go for who and who ends up being the Bachelor at the end of the night. I think that this would have been a great opportunity to do that this year, but I just want to throw it out there in the universe, because can you imagine just seeing, like, listening to the reasons why, like, women would want one
like
guy
he's
over
a little
another
bit
guy.
Taller, but he has a tattoo.
Give us the details.
Or he has a degree.
Yeah. or things
I
like that.
just feel so bad for the other person that does not get chosen. Like during Caitlin's season, I was like, that is so brutal.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Like, I really want Caitlyn to win, but I really don't want anyone to be picked because it's so sad.
But I don't know if you guys remember, it was so sweet because I remember that night there was one guy that was so gung-ho Brit that he left and ran after her. Mm-hmm. And and it's like she still sort of got, you know what I mean, like some type of, I don't know. You're still being put out there in a way where you're ready to find love. It's
Didn't
still
they
a cool
date for a
opportunity.
while?
They dated for like 2-3 months. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That was
cute.
brutal though. Watching it back on the GOAT episode, I was like, this feels way more wrong than it did in the moment. Which it felt wrong in the moment, but it felt much more wrong in hindsight.
Okay, so to wrap this conversation about Bachelor, would you guys ever be the Bachelor or Bachelorette? Why or why not?
I don't think they would let me.
Okay, first, Chris.
This is hypothetical situation.
Like, obviously, for multiple reasons, I would never be able to. But if I was given the choice, I still don't think I would be able to because I would pull a Claire in 5 seconds. Like, literally, I wouldn't even last one episode. I would just be like, it's him. I'm married.
Absolutely, I agree. Do you think that we should see some sort of gay spinoff? I know Lance Bass did one a couple years ago.
And it was so awful.
Now,
there was one on Logo, too, right?
I think that's the one. That's the one.
It was on Logo, and it was like, I don't know who was in charge of like casting, but it literally was just like the first 10 men that applied, it seemed like.
Now, is it going to be possible to do that? Because wouldn't everybody kind of be hooking up in the same house?
Boom. Yeah. Yes. Like, also the drama from that, I love.
Yeah. Because, like, why would you wait for one guy when you literally have 20 others around? And you're like,
it's
that's
why
dumb.
is he the best?
They did. You know that MTV show, You're the One?
Yeah.
And it's like a match, whatever. They did a season where everyone on the show, so it was like 30 people, and everyone was bi. So they all were like, hooking up with other. It was very bizarre.
All right, Kay, how would you deal with being the Bachelorette? Would you pull a Claire, or would you be able to be open-minded?
I think I would be able to be open-minded, especially because, like, I'm too soft, and I'd be like, all these guys are, like, at least showed up here and, like, you know, are trying. Like, I might as well try. Like, that was the one thing that I had a problem with Claire in this most recent episode was that she was on that group date and didn't give anybody the rose on the group date. It's like, you still have so many guys there. At least like you have to keep one of them anyways. So you might as well like pretend, or like there has to be one of those guys that you'd be down to keep because you're probably going to end up keeping him anyways at the rose ceremony.
See, I'm so anti-pretending. I think that's what's so endearing is it's so real. It's like, no, I'm not feeling any of them tonight. I'm not giving it out. I love when people are unapologetically themselves. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have done it. I would have absolutely like tried to foster a new relationship, but like I think that's why it's so good though.
That's why I find it to be more relatable. But maybe maybe Naz and I are these people that have like literally no filter. We cannot act, and that I just find it to be something like a move that I would make. I could see myself being so into somebody there. Well, it's like when people, not to bring it back to myself, but people would be like, Ashley, who do you want to walk down the stairs of paradise and see? Like, who would you be open to going to a date with? This person is kind of cute. Maybe you should start to talk to them more. I'm like, no, Jared. No, there's just Jared here. Right. I'm sorry. So that's why I find this season extremely relatable. But anyway.
We're manically monogamous.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because that just like wouldn't work. If everyone on the show was like that, then it would be like, what are we all here for? Like, everyone's
no, it's true. There's a part of me that's always said I would never do it just because I think whoever is the lead goes through a lot. I think public scrutiny isn't, I'm very sensitive. Like I don't want people in the world to not like who I am. And I think that's like inevitable. Sure. But now the more and more I think about it and the more I'm single, I'm like, this would be amazing. But to Ashley's point, like I could not fake it if I made out with someone and it wasn't good. Like I would be villainized. I would be like, that was the worst thing I've ever had. I'd be like,
So props to all the leads in the past who have been able to keep it together.
Seriously, because you know all those kisses are not good. There's no way.
Yeah. So you guys, we're going to be on your podcast in a couple weeks, recapping an episode of what is now Tayshia's part of the season.
So excited.
And we're excited to do that. So thank you so much for coming on, and we can't wait to talk to you guys again in a couple weeks.
Can't wait.
Thank you for having us.
And where can people find you guys and your podcast?
You can find our podcast at The Bachelor or Bachelor Pod on Instagram.
No, you can find our podcast at The Bachelor on Instagram.
It was right the first time. I get nervous.
The Bachelor on Instagram or Bachelor Pod on Twitter. You can find me at K York City on any platform.
And you can find me at Fat Carrie Bradshaw on
Fat
Insta.
Carrie Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Carrie Bradshaw and Fat Carrie Bishaw on Twitter because they don't allow enough characters.
Okay,
So annoying.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Did you know that everyone has an aura? Do you know what color your aura is? Maybe you have a fiery red personality or a quiet and calm blue or green. You could be an organized and methodical yellow or an explosive purple. Come join me, Mystic Michaela, on my podcast, Know Your Aura, to find out all about how your personality can be explained in colors.
I don't get it. Podcast.